Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm just going to do a sort of my first impressions of the 2022 Marin San Quentin. I've had it out a few times on the trails. I head up Turkey Point spring kicker last weekend and really got to test it out there and done a little bit of riding around here locally. So just wanted to give my first impressions of the bike after riding it a couple times, and it's in pretty much stock configuration. There's a few minor things done to it, but overall it's pretty stock. So the first thing I've noticed riding this bike is how light it is. I'm not new to hardtails. I've had hardtails before, but this one just feels lighter than other hardtails I have. I've weighed it today and it weighed in about 31 pounds. I think my Roscoe was about 32, 33. So it's a bit lighter than that. And the aggressive geometry on this bike, it's pretty slack. I think it's 65-degree head angle on it, so it really likes to go downhill. One thing I have noticed about it that I don't know, I just have to get used to it, I think, is it's got a relatively low stack height. And if people don't know what I mean by stack height, it's basically like taking a measurement. If you measured straight out from your crank and then straight up to your handlebars, that measurement, this is a little low, so it kind of feels like I'm leaning over the front of the bike a little bit more than I'm used to, but it's just, I think, something I need to get used to. I do have these bars aren't stock. They have about a 40 millimeter rise, so maybe I need to play around with a little bit more rise on it. I also have my friends over at Sun Tour gonna maybe send me a new fork for it, boost up the travel to 150. I think I'm going to try. So that should bring up the stack height a little as well, plus even slack it out some more. The Shimano 12-speed drivetrain shifts great. No problems whatsoever with it. I'm a big Shimano fanboy, so no complaints there. The tires on here, these 𝗙𝗂𝗏𝗥𝗡 tires, are a little aggressive for kind of my local trails, but tons of grip, no complaints really with them at this point. Might look into some faster rolling tires in the future, maybe not. We'll see how these go. Now, one thing I was concerned about was going to 27.5 after a couple years on 29s, and just after a few rides, I honestly don't notice a whole lot of difference just riding around. Now granted, I haven't been plowing through rock gardens or doing anything that demands really nice rollover, which the 29s are good at, so I might notice that. If I do that kind of riding, I might notice the 27.5s and the advantages that the 29s have over them. But so far, just riding local trails and the stuff at Turkey Point, I don't really notice much of a difference. It rides well. What else can we say about this bike? The color's super cool, as you can tell. It's advertised as red. Marin advertised this bike as red, and I don't know about you guys looking at the video, unless you're colorblind. That looks pretty orange to me. It's really cool orange. Kind of like maybe a little bit of a red orange, but I like it. The brakes on here, they're the 4-piston Dior brakes. The one thing I don't like is the brake levers. These motorcycle style levers, I find, I don't know, I almost have to use 2 fingers, or there's no way to adjust sort of how far you pull the lever in. It's probably one thing I'll look at, getting some better, shorter levers like I'm used to on all my other bikes I've had. The fork, this RockShox Revelation fork, has been fine. No problems with it. Seems to handle itself pretty well, no complaints. Like I said, I might be getting a longer travel fork from my buddies over at SR Sun Tour. They've been supporters of the channel for a few years, so we're probably going to put maybe something a little beefier and longer on the front of this, and that should be cool. So one thing I do kind of have to get used to going back to a hardtail. Like I said, I'm not new to hardtails. It's just been a couple years since I've had one, and just getting used to picking your lines better, not just plowing through everything. Kind of got spoiled by that with the long travel 29er. You could pretty much ride it over and through anything, and it didn't have a problem with that. The hardtail, you kind of, I mean, you can ride like that if you want. It's just maybe a little easier on you and the bike if you pick your lines a bit better, and just keep your feet planted on those pedals. That's the other thing I gotta keep in mind. Just keep my feet on the pedals, like I always say, but be conscious of that, and make sure they're kind of heels down, I guess you'd say. But overall, I'm happy with the bike. Like I said in my video last week, I almost gave up on mountain biking, but this is a great compromise to it. It was either kind of like keep the gravel bike and just ride that around, or let's get something that I can do a bit of gravel riding, adventure riding with it, and it can handle pretty much any trail that I have around here. Also, I wanted to mention the rear hub on this, the Shimano rear hub on it. It's pretty good engagement for a stock hub. Maybe not as good as something a bit higher end or aftermarket, but I don't really, it doesn't have too much slop in it. It's got decent engagement. I think I'll be happy with that, and no need to do anything about that anytime soon. So this is just a quick video, quick first impressions of the 2022 Marin San Quentin 3 that I've been riding here for a few weeks. So far, really like it. I like getting back to the hardtail. Even just riding it around, I can, riding around on streets and doing stuff, I just find myself being a little more playful on it than I've been on other bikes. Looking forward to getting back to some of that, maybe getting back to, trying to do wheelies or something again. I looked back on some videos recently, and I think one of my very first videos was trying to do wheelies on the Trek Roscoe 5 years ago, and I pretty much haven't practiced since. So it'd be maybe nice to get back to doing some stuff like that. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. I'm going to leave you here with just a clip from Turkey Point last weekend, riding a trail called 𝗠𝗏𝗧. Pretty cool trail, so just thought I'd throw that in at the end of the video. And as always, thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe if you haven't already. Really appreciate everybody sticking around the channel. Hoping to get some new content out this year. And until next time, you know what to do. Keep your feet on the pedal. This kind of looks fun. Oh! I got a lot of wood. Oh, sorry, not here. Oh, shit. Yeah.